Hidden deep within China's Sichuan province are natural wonders that will completely change how you see our world. Imagine waterfalls that cascade down mountains for 1,000 meters, creating rainbows that dance in the mist. Picture lakes so blue they look fake, but they're 100% real. Envision temples carved directly into cliff faces where monks have prayed for over 1,400 years. These aren't just remote places. They're mysteries that have amazed visitors for centuries. Locations where ancient engineering meets incredible geology. Where Buddhist traditions blend with landscapes so beautiful they seem painted by the gods themselves. Places where your camera can't capture the true magic, no matter how good it is. For generations, these secrets stayed hidden in Sichuan's vast wilderness. Even today, many require dangerous journeys through unmarked mountain paths. Some exist in locations so remote that GPS fails and maps become useless. It's as if nature itself guards these treasures. Today, we're revealing 25 real locations in Sichuan province that showcase the most incredible sights on Earth. Each one will make you question what's possible in our world. Prepare to have your mind completely blown by the hidden wonders of China's most mysterious province. At 3,079 meters above sea level, a temple covered in pure gold sits on Mount Emei's peak like something from a fairy tale. The entire building is made of copper and coated in real gold that creates blinding reflections when sunlight hits. This UNESCO World Heritage Site holds the world's largest golden Buddha statue, 48 meters tall and weighing 600 tons of bronze and gold. But the real magic happens in the afternoon. Between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., about every 5 days, an incredible phenomenon appears. Rainbow-colored rings form around your shadow on the clouds below. Scientists call it Buddha's halo, light bending through moisture at this exact altitude. Buddhists believe anyone who sees it receives special blessings. The most breathtaking moment comes at sunrise. As the sun climbs above the sea of clouds, the entire mountain turns gold from peak to base. The temple appears to float above an endless white ocean. Ancient monks built this place to touch heaven itself. Standing here, you understand why they succeeded. A Buddha statue so massive that 100 people can sit on one foot. The Leshan giant Buddha measures 71 meters tall, taller than the Statue of Liberty, carved directly into a red sandstone cliff over 90 years during the Tang dynasty. This UNESCO wonder required removing 90,000 tons of stone. His ears alone are 7 meters long. The statue's builders were genius engineers. They designed a hidden drainage system inside the Buddha to prevent water damage. Holes behind his ears drain rainwater. His hair contains 1,021 stone spirals that channel water away from his face. After 1,300 years, he still stands perfect and strong. What amazes visitors most is the scale. Standing at his feet, you feel like an ant. His toenails are bigger than most people. His gentle expression brings peace to everyone who sees him. This isn't just art. It's proof that ancient Chinese engineers could accomplish what seems impossible, even today. Where mist clings to mountains like silk scarves and ancient temples hide among trees older than most civilizations, Mount Qingcheng is the birthplace of Taoism, where 2,000 years ago, Master Zhang Daoling founded a religion that changed China forever. The mountain stays green year-round, earning its name, Green City Mountain. 36 temples and monasteries dot the slopes, connected by stone paths worn smooth by millions of pilgrims. The front mountain offers easy access to major temples. The back mountain requires serious hiking, but rewards you with secret waterfalls and hidden caves where hermit monks once meditated for decades. The most magical experience happens in early morning. Mist rises through ancient cypresses and ginkgo trees, some over 1,000 years old. Temple bells echo across valleys. Incense smoke drifts between buildings that seem to float in the clouds. You understand why Taoists believe this mountain bridges earth and heaven. Imagine a cliff face completely covered in Buddha statues. Over 7,000 carved figures fill 400 caves along the Jialing River. The 1,000 Buddha cliffs represent 1,400 years of religious devotion carved directly into living rock. Each statue has a different expression, each tells a different story. Together, they create the world's most incredible outdoor art gallery. The largest Buddha measures 8.8 meters tall, with perfect details carved by Tang dynasty masters. Smaller statues crowd around him like students listening to a teacher. Some caves contain entire scenes: Buddha's birth, his enlightenment, his teachings. The colors painted 1,000 years ago still glow bright red, blue and gold. What makes this place truly special happens at sunset. Golden light hits the cliff at the perfect angle to illuminate thousands of faces at once. For a few minutes, every Buddha seems alive. Their eyes follow you. Their smiles warm your heart. Ancient artists created more than statues. They carved an entire spiritual world into stone. In 2021, archaeologists made a discovery that shocked the world. A 3,000-year-old gold mask weighing 280 grams and made from 84% pure gold. But that's just the beginning. The Sanxingdui site contains artifacts so strange they look like they came from another planet. Bronze trees 4 meters tall, human statues with bulging eyes and massive ears, art unlike anything found anywhere else in ancient China. This advanced civilization built a walled city around 1,600 BCE with sophisticated engineering. Canals controlled floods and provided irrigation. Bronze casting technology created masterpieces that modern artists struggle to understand. The world's oldest life-size bronze human statue came from here, 2.6 meters tall and weighing 180 kilograms. The biggest mystery? This entire civilization vanished around 1000 BCE. No one knows why. Massive flooding? War? Something else? The artifacts suggest contact with cultures thousands of kilometers away. Some researchers think Sanxingdui proves ancient China was far more connected to the wider world than anyone imagined. No pumps, no electricity, no modern technology. Just brilliant engineering that has controlled floods and irrigated farmland for over 2,000 years. The Dujiangyan irrigation system represents the oldest water management project still working today. UNESCO calls it a masterpiece of ancient Chinese engineering. Built around 256 BCE, the system splits the Min River using an artificial island shaped like a fish's mouth. During flood season, extra water flows into spillways. During dry season, all water irrigates crops. The design uses nature's own power to regulate itself. Modern engineers study this system to learn how ancient builders achieved what they couldn't with machines. The secret lies in materials and angles that work with water instead of fighting it. Bamboo cages filled with stones create flexible barriers that bend but don't break. Curved channels speed up or slow down water flow exactly where needed. Every piece works together like a giant clock that runs on river power instead of springs. At 3,750 meters above sea level, where the air is so thin that every breath matters, stands one of Tibet's most sacred monasteries. Tagong Monastery's golden stupa catches sunlight like a beacon, visible for kilometers across the high grasslands. Behind it, the holy mountain Zara Latsi rises 5,820 meters into eternal snow. This isn't just a monastery, it's a living piece of Tibetan culture. Over 800 monks study here, their red robes bright against white mountains. Prayer flags flutter in winds that never stop. Pilgrims walk clockwise around the monastery spinning prayer wheels, their lips moving in constant prayer. The sound of their chanting mixes with wind and yak bells. The monastery houses a replica of the Jiuzhaigou Buddha statue from Lasa's Daocheng temple. Pilgrims believe praying here equals praying at the original. During festivals, the entire grassland fills with nomad families in traditional dress. Horses race across meadows. Butter tea steams in the cold air. This is Tibet as it has existed for 1,000 years.
4 granite peaks that pierce the sky like giant needles, each one more beautiful and dangerous than the last. Mount Siguniang, Four Sisters Mountain, offers some of the world's most challenging rock climbing. The highest sister reaches 6,250 meters. The rock faces are so steep that only expert climbers dare attempt them, but you don't need to climb to experience the magic. Crystal lakes reflect the peaks perfectly on calm days. Alpine meadows explode with wildflowers during summer. Rhododendron forests create tunnels of pink and white blossoms. The Changping Valley leads hikers through pristine wilderness that few humans have ever seen. Local Qiang people believe the 4 peaks are sisters who turn to stone, protecting their homeland. The youngest sister, the shortest peak, guards the valley entrance. The eldest sister, the tallest peak, watches over everyone. Each season paints the sisters differently. Snow white in winter, flower-crowned in summer, gold-touched in autumn. Water so blue it looks like liquid sapphires. Lakes so clear you can see 30 meters down to perfectly preserved fallen trees. Waterfalls that cascade in 7 different tiers, each one more beautiful than the last. Jiuzhaigou Valley earned its name 9 Village Valley from Tibetan communities that once lived here. Now it's a UNESCO wonderland that millions travel to see. The secret lies in the water. Mineral deposits and microscopic organisms filter light to create colors that cameras can't capture accurately. 5 Flower Lake shows 5 different blues in a single pool. Mirror Lake reflects surrounding peaks so perfectly that photos look upside down. Nuoralang Waterfall spreads 320 meters wide, creating rainbows that dance in the mist. Autumn transforms Jiuzhaigou into an artist's palette. Golden birches, red maples and green pines create reflections that seem painted on glass. The lakes become mirrors showing 2 forests, one above water, one below. Traditional Tibetan prayer flags add bright colors, while local communities share stories passed down for generations. Picture 3,000 terraced pools cascading down a mountain for 3.6 kilometers. Each one glowing golden yellow from mineral deposits laid down over thousands of years. Huanglong, yellow dragon, creates landscapes so unreal they seem computer-generated. But every pool, every terrace, every impossible color comes from natural geological processes. The magic starts with calcium carbonate-rich spring water flowing down limestone slopes. As water moves, it deposits minerals that build natural dams. The dams create pools. The pools overflow to create waterfalls. The waterfalls build more dams. Over millennia, this process created the world's most spectacular travertine landscape. Different pools display different colors based on depth, minerals, and angle of sunlight. Some glow turquoise like tropical seas. Others shine gold like melted treasure. The 5 color pools at the top show red, yellow, green, blue, and clear water in a single formation. UNESCO scientists still study how nature creates such perfect beauty. Imagine ice and tropical forest existing side by side. The Hailuogou Glacier descends to just 2,850 meters above sea level, the world's lowest glacier at this latitude. Ancient ice flows directly into primeval forest, where monkeys live and bamboo grows. This impossible combination creates one of Earth's rarest ecosystems. The glacier moves fast because of steep terrain and low altitude. This creates China's largest ice waterfall, 1,080 meters high and 1,100 meters wide. It's like a frozen Niagara Falls hanging from Mount Gonga's peak. During spring and summer, hundreds of avalanches thunder down daily as the glacier reshapes itself. The most amazing part? Hot springs bubble up right beside the ice, at temperatures reaching 92 degrees Celsius. You can soak in thermal pools while watching glacial ice flow past. Scientists study this rare phenomenon where extreme cold and extreme heat coexist within meters of each other. 3 sacred mountains rise like cathedral spires from pristine wilderness. Tibetans believe these peaks, Chenrezig, Jambyang, and Chanadorje, represent three Buddhist protector deities watching over the world. Yading Nature Reserve protects this last Shangri-La, where ancient spiritual traditions meet breathtaking natural beauty. Each mountain has its own personality. Chenrezig, 6,032 meters, appears as a peaceful meditation master. Jambayang, 5,958 meters, stands like a fierce warrior. Chanadorji, 5,958 meters, resembles a beautiful goddess. Prayer flags flutter from every viewpoint as Tibetan pilgrims complete sacred walks around the peaks that take 3 days to finish. Between the mountains lie lakes so perfect they seem painted. Milk Lake glows white from glacial minerals. Five-color Lake changes from green to blue to gold as clouds pass overhead. Pearl Lake reflects the peaks so clearly that sky and earth become impossible to separate. In bamboo forests so thick that noon looks like twilight, the world's most beloved animals live wild and free. Wolong Nature Reserve protects over 100,000 acres of pristine habitat, where giant pandas evolved over millions of years. This UNESCO Biosphere Reserve maintains the delicate ecosystem that makes panda survival possible. The reserve isn't just about pandas. Golden snub-nosed monkeys swing through ancient trees. Red pandas climb bamboo like furry acrobats. Over 4,000 plant species create one of Earth's most biodiverse temperate forests. The bamboo alone includes 12 different species that pandas depend on for survival. During spring, rhododendron forests burst into pink and white blossoms. Summer brings lush green growth that feeds countless animals. Autumn paints the mountains gold and red. Winter snows create fairy tale landscapes where panda tracks tell stories of survival in one of nature's most challenging environments. Imagine an ocean, but instead of water, it's made of bamboo. The Shunan Bamboo Sea covers 120 square kilometers, with 58 different bamboo species creating the world's largest bamboo ecosystem. From above, green waves seem to roll to the horizon. Inside, filtered sunlight creates cathedral-like spaces, where every sound echoes differently. The bamboo grows so thick that temperature stays 8 degrees cooler than outside areas. During windstorms, the entire forest becomes a giant musical instrument. Different bamboo species create different tones. Hollow stems act like organ pipes. The acoustic effects are so perfect that traditional musicians come here to test instrument designs. Local artisans turn bamboo into everything: houses, furniture, musical instruments, and food. Bamboo shoots provide nutrition. Bamboo wine offers celebration. Bamboo paper preserves knowledge. This forest proves that a single plant can support an entire human culture when managed with wisdom and respect. Where earth meets sky in an endless green carpet that stretches beyond the horizon. The Ragai wetlands represent China's largest high-altitude grassland, known as the Emerald of northwestern Sichuan. At 3,400 meters elevation, this pristine ecosystem supports Tibetan nomads who have lived here for thousands of years. Millions of yaks graze peacefully, while their herders move camps following ancient seasonal patterns. Prayer flags mark sacred spots where nomads honor the spirits of grass, water, and wind. During summer, wildflowers turn the grasslands into natural gardens. Purple lupins, yellow buttercups, white daisies, creating patterns that change with each passing cloud. This wetland serves as the Yellow River's source region. Countless streams wind through grasslands like silver ribbons. The water here eventually reaches the sea 5,400 kilometers away. Standing in these meadows, you're witnessing the beginning of one of the world's great rivers, while experiencing nomadic culture unchanged for millennia. Hidden in deep valleys where ancient stone towers rise like medieval castles, Danba County contains what many consider China's most beautiful villages. Hundreds of traditional Tibetan houses dot terrace mountainsides, their white walls and red roofs creating patterns that seem designed by artists rather than farmers. The famous stone towers date back 1,000 years. Built without mortar, these defensive structures still stand strong, using techniques that puzzle modern engineers. Some towers reach 60 meters high, with walls 2 meters thick at the base. They protected villages during ancient wars and now serve as symbols of Tibetan architectural genius. Each village celebrates the changing seasons differently. Spring brings pink pear blossoms that cover entire valleys in white clouds. Summer shows terraced barley fields climbing mountains in green steppes. Autumn turns everything gold and red, while snow-capped peaks provide dramatic backdrops for this living museum of Tibetan culture. At 3,300 meters above sea level, where light behaves like nowhere else on Earth, lies Xinduqiao, photographer's paradise. This small Tibetan town sits in a valley where every sunset and sunrise creates masterpiece lighting that makes ordinary landscapes look like paintings. The secret lies in altitude and atmospheric conditions that filter sunlight into impossible colors. Mountains glow gold, pink, and purple during magic hour. Streams reflect peaks so perfectly they create natural mirror images. Traditional Tibetan houses with prayer flags add cultural elements that complete perfect compositions. Professional photographers travel here from around the world to capture light that exists nowhere else. Every season offers different rewards. Spring brings clear skies and snow-covered peaks. Summer adds wildflowers and dramatic storms. Autumn delivers golden grasslands and migrating birds. Winter creates minimalist landscapes where every element becomes essential. In a misty gorge where waterfalls create natural air conditioning, scientists work to save giant pandas from extinction. The Bifengxia Panda Base represents cutting-edge conservation science, where researchers study panda behavior, breeding, and habitat needs. This facility has successfully bred over 150 pandas since opening. The location provides perfect panda habitat, cool temperatures, high humidity, and extensive bamboo forests. Natural gorges create enclosures where pandas experience conditions similar to wild habitat. Visitors can observe pandas displaying natural behaviors like climbing, foraging, and caring for cubs. Beyond pandas, Bifengxia protects entire ecosystems. Red pandas, golden monkeys, and countless bird species find refuge here. The facility proves that scientific research and tourism can work together to fund conservation while educating visitors about the delicate balance required to maintain biodiversity. Where Earth's internal fire meets the roof of the world, natural hot springs bubble up at temperatures reaching 90 degrees Celsius. The Kangding hot springs have provided healing for Tibetan communities for over 1,000 years. Each spring contains different minerals that traditional Tibetan medicine uses for specific ailments. The springs emerge from deep underground, along fault lines that mark the edge of the Tibetan plateau. Sulfur springs help skin conditions. Lithium-rich waters calm anxiety. Iron-rich pools treat anemia. Local Tibetans believe the waters contain spiritual healing power, as well as physical benefits. Soaking in thermal pools while surrounded by snow-capped peaks creates experiences that heal both body and spirit. The contrast between hot mineral water and cold mountain air stimulates circulation and releases muscle tension. Steam rises into thin air, while prayer flags flutter overhead in scenes that blend natural wonder with spiritual practice. At 4,000 meters elevation, where oxygen is thin and every breath matters, lie lakes so clear they seem like liquid crystal. Daocheng County contains dozens of alpine lakes that reflect surrounding peaks with perfect clarity. The water is so pure that visibility extends 15 meters down to lake bottoms, covered in colorful stones. These lakes exist in a landscape that changes dramatically with seasons. Autumn transforms surrounding forests into gold and red tapestries that reflect on mirror-calm water. Winter freezes the lakes solid, while prayer flags flutter above ice and snow. Spring brings wildflower meadows that frame the lakes in natural gardens. Traditional Tibetan monasteries overlook many lakes, their red buildings providing perfect color contrast against blue water and white peaks. Monks use the lakes for water blessing ceremonies, while pilgrims complete ritual walks around the shorelines. These waters represent purity in both physical and spiritual senses. Imagine a city built entirely for spiritual study, where 40,000 monks and nuns live in small red houses that cover entire mountainsides like a sea of crimson. Seda Buddhist Academy represents the world's largest Buddhist institute, where people from across Asia come to study ancient wisdom in the modern world. The academy operates like a medieval university, focused on Buddhist philosophy, meditation, and traditional arts. Students spend years mastering Tibetan language, Buddhist texts, and meditation techniques. The daily schedule includes group debates where monks test their understanding through formal arguments that can last hours. During major ceremonies, the entire mountainside fills with red-robed figures chanting in unison. The sound carries across valleys while incense smoke rises into sky. Prayer wheels spin constantly as students walk meditation paths between buildings. This represents Tibetan Buddhism's largest and most important educational center. Bridges made of yak hair and wooden planks that span gorges 300 meters deep and 100 meters wide. These traditional Tibetan suspension bridges connect mountain communities separated by impossible terrain. Some bridges are over 400 years old, yet still carry heavy loads, including yaks, horses, and entire families. The engineering uses materials perfectly adapted to extreme mountain conditions. Yak hair cables stretch and contract with temperature changes without breaking. Wooden planks allow for flexible movement during windstorms. Prayer flags attached to the cables provide spiritual protection while adding visual beauty to utilitarian structures. Crossing these bridges requires courage and faith. They sway with every step, while deep gorges yawn below. Local Tibetans cross confidently while visitors grip the cable handrails with white knuckles. But reaching the other side brings profound satisfaction. You've conquered fear using ancient engineering that has worked for centuries. Climbing mountains in perfect green steps. Ancient agricultural terraces reach so high they literally touch passing clouds. These engineering marvels, carved over 2,000 years ago, turn steep mountainsides into productive farmland while preventing erosion and managing water flow. Each terrace level creates its own microclimate. Lower terraces grow rice and vegetables. Middle levels support barley and corn. Upper terraces near the clouds grow hardy crops like buckwheat and potatoes. The system allows a single mountain to produce multiple harvests using precise water management techniques. During planting season, water-filled terraces create mirror-like steps that reflect sky and clouds. Harvest time transforms mountains into golden staircases as crops ripen at different elevations. Traditional farming methods maintain soil fertility without chemical inputs, proving ancient wisdom can outperform modern agriculture. Carved by wind and water over millions of years, certain mountain valleys create perfect natural amphitheaters where sound behaves in impossible ways. These acoustic chambers amplify whispers into shouts while making normal speech carry for kilometers without electronic equipment. The rock formations create precise geometric relationships that focus and enhance sound waves. Some valleys produce perfect echoes that repeat 7 times. Others create harmonic resonance where multiple voices blend into chord-like effects. Traditional communities discovered these properties centuries ago and used them for ceremonies and long-distance communication. During thunderstorms, the acoustic effects become dramatic. Thunder reverberates for minutes instead of seconds. Rain creates percussion effects on different rock surfaces. Wind through stone formations produces tones like giant musical instruments. These natural concert halls prove that nature is the ultimate sound engineer. On the highest mountain peaks where Earth meets heaven, Tibetan communities practice ancient death rituals that return human bodies to nature. Sky burial sites represent the ultimate expression of Tibetan Buddhist beliefs about life, death, and rebirth. These sacred locations offer the deceased their final journey toward enlightenment. The practice reflects deep spiritual wisdom about the cycle of life. Bodies provide nourishment for vultures and other wildlife, completing the circle where all beings support each other. The mountain locations ensure that remains return to the elements, sky, wind, and earth, in places closest to the divine. Prayer flags flutter constantly at these sites, carrying written prayers into wind and sky. The flags fade and tear over time, symbolizing impermanence while adding color to stark mountain landscapes. Standing at these places, visitors experience profound silence, broken only by wind and the distant cries of sacred birds. These 25 places represent only the beginning of Sichuan's wonders. In every hidden valley, behind each ordinary-looking mountain, extraordinary sights wait to be discovered. From UNESCO World Heritage Sites to secret locations known only to local communities, Sichuan Province serves as a living museum where nature and culture create impossible beauty. Each location depends on continued conservation efforts that balance scientific research, cultural preservation, and responsible tourism. Traditional communities serve as guardians of both natural treasures and ancient wisdom. Their knowledge, passed down through generations, helps protect these irreplaceable gifts for future visitors.